Good morning. Happy Saturday. Good morning. Welcome to Love Morning. We are here for gratitude, for connection, for a little yoga for the mind and spirit. I mean, yoga is also for the mind and spirit, but this is that without body movement. Although I highly encourage you to do yoga while you participate in Love Morning. My name is John, and I will be your host. So gather round, think about something that you could share that you're grateful for. Woke up a little late. The part of my brain that says, I don't think you're awake enough to sing a song. Oh, really? Well, we shall see about that. Dun, 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 dun. Because if you are a little animal cat, dun, 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 you will have lots of things to be grateful for. Dun, 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 dun. Little cat toys, and you can sleep on the floor. Dun, 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 dun. But look at us. We've got beds and chairs, everything we want, and no fear of bears. We've got so many things to be grateful for. Everybody join me, we've got so much in store. Love morning. See? Told you I could do it. I hope you are in a Saturday state of mind. Good morning, Juan. Good morning, Gerbot. Woo! What you grateful for? I had quite a day yesterday. The little 30-second reel I put on Instagram saying I'm not going to Burning Man because I'm in love went kind of viral. It's got over 300,000 views yesterday. That's a lot of people. And it really turned the day into a really special feeling because, 30,000 views equals quite a bit of content. I mean, comments. And so grateful for the many, many people who left beautiful thoughts. I mean, people that never met me and saw this thing pop up in their feed and were celebrating my love. And then there were people who we've crossed paths sometime in the past, and they reminded me of our interaction, or a sticker I gave them, or a gift they gave me. In fact, one of the coolest things that happened yesterday, a woman, Celia, she said, "Oh, I haven't been back to the burn since 2006, but way back in the day, I gifted you this water bottle holder, that was made out of old ties." And I was like, that was my favorite playa gift ever. Like, I wore that every day of the burn for years, and I wore every festival I went to until it fell apart. And then I actually took it to a leather worker and said, "Can you make a replacement for this?" And it was never as cool or as nice, never worked as well. It was awesome. And so, this person reached out to say, "Hey, thanks for all you've done." And I'm like, wait, I have had so much accumulated appreciation and gratitude for you over the years. And because of the way the playa is and my brain is, I didn't remember exactly who gave me that gift. In the moment that I received it, I was totally present and I was showering them with appreciation. But at the time, I didn't know it would become the best accessory ever. And so to be able to tell her that yesterday was such an unexpected gift from this wild and wacky internet connection thing that we're living through. So, yeah, so that was awesome. And a bunch of other awesome things too. But I'll continue on after I check in. Gerbot, grateful my dad is alive today. He had a fall at home outside on Thursday and was able to call 911. Grateful for all the staff at Stanford Hospital and that he was able to be released today. Whew, that sounds scary. And so glad that he's home. So glad he has you. Good morning, Bill. Bill says, today I'm grateful for Playa Connection. I just sent over 50 postcards to burner friends from all over the world. They're not burners, they're family. I saw that you offered up your epic Playa coat. Curious if anybody have you matched anybody to wear it? It's a beaut. Bill says, I gave you a gift in 2022, I think. I can't remember what it was, actually, a scroll or something. Yes, I believe it's got I think it may have an explanation of what namaste means or some other Eastern saying. Yes, I don't know. I think it's downstairs. It is not currently being displayed on the wall, but at my old place before we moved, it was hanging in our garage. Juan says, I'm grateful to attend a baptism where many family members will gather and spend the day together. How wonderful life can be. Yeah. I was feeling so saturated with that feeling of how wonderful life can be. I mean, Lisa she marked off her calendar so that she said no work today yesterday. And so she got to relax and we got to have some just wonderful quality time. And I mean, and to have so many people celebrating my relationship and my love yesterday, and then to be able to spend time with Lisa, I just was like, I am so blessed. I've decided I'm not using the word lucky anymore, because lucky kind of has to me a connotation like I don't deserve this, but I'm not lucky that I met Lisa. I am blessed that so many opportunities and good choices and hard work and struggles and lessons and teachers led to a place where this can be happening right now, and I can be a man worthy of Lisa. I don't feel lucky to be with her. I feel blessed that we are in a relationship together. So Billy, you did find someone for the coat. Phoenix. Oh, a lady in Phoenix. Destiny Gamble. Cool. Gerbot says, luck is opportunity plus preparation. Yeah. Totally. I guess and that's I guess that I've heard that before, which is also a kind of argument against the idea of luck. Like, hey, I'm lucky I won the slot machine. But if a musician gets lucky by getting famous, it's like, well, the more people I get to know that are wildly successful, the more I understand that the equation for it is not charm plus luck equals success. It's natural born talents plus incredible hard work and discipline, plus opportunities, sometimes divine guidance, equals success. And maybe that's one of my sticking points, is luck versus, divine guidance or flow. I feel like I was led to Lisa. I've told many times the story of having this epiphany in a therapy session and then driving 9 hours the next day to go to the retreat where I met Lisa. Like, I've never done that in my life before. I've never had a clarity like I'm supposed to be in that place. So am I lucky that I had that therapy session that led to my actions? That doesn't feel accurate. It feels like a lifetime of choices and things outside my control, and led me to this place where luckily I'd done enough work, enough preparation, that I was able to act in integrity, which then led to a beautiful place. Bill says, Lisa is definitely your kindred spirit. I mean, we've been together a little over 2 years. So I know in the grand scheme of relationships and life, it's just a blip. I've been corresponding with someone who just lost their wife of 47 years. And I have no idea what that kind of relationship, what that evolves into. But I witnessed my parents, who are together for longer than that. How long have they been together? 53 years? No, I'm 54, so they've been together 57? I kind of lost my train of thought. But like the number of moments that I share with Lisa that are as magical as anything I've ever experienced is significant. I mean, I am frequently throughout the day looking at her with awe and inspiration, and I'm connected to her in a way that I just feel blessed. And I'm so blessed that she feels that towards me, because I don't know what I would do if I had this kind of overwhelming feeling of connection to someone who, for whatever reason, was like, I'm unavailable for commitment. Maybe they had trauma they had not worked through. They were avoidant, maybe trust issues. But both of us had worked through enough of our stuff so then when we're here, all the stuff that used to repel us from true connection have pretty much been healed enough that whatever's left, we can heal together and have patience for one another as we, get pulled back into old patterns or reactive things or dysregulation. It's such a good feeling knowing that if I slip, if I do something that is not at my highest, I know that Lisa will not judge me, will not think less of me. I'll have an old voice that will say, like, uh-oh, she's gonna, like, yesterday, I I wrote a letter. How long is it? I wrote a note to a peer friend, impressive friend of Lisa's that I'm not that close to. And that person wrote me back a question that had a pretty deep spiritual, philosophical question in it. And I wrote back honestly, and it felt like, as I'm writing it, I was a little nervous. Like, I, I'm a little afraid that this person might judge me, not because of who they are, but because of my issues. I don't want to look stupid. And I had this flash come over me later the day, like, hey, hun, I'm gonna send you what I wrote to them, like, in case you might feel like embarrassed. Have you ever been in that situation where, someone that you're connected to, maybe they say something at a party, or they tell a joke that is like, you're like, oh my God, that was not, ugh, I wish we wouldn't have done that, I mean, now I feel awkward because you're my partner and you did this thing. And I was like, oh, I hope I don't make Lisa's friend think less of me. And then Lisa's kind of like, oh. And she was kind of like, what? Like, she has that same respect for me that I have for her. Like, I trust you completely. The person that you are, all of it. Even when you are in a place that your greatness is buried beneath your issues or your dysregulation or hormones or fatigue. I love all of it. There's nothing that you could do or say that would trigger my, oh God, I can't believe she did that. And she feels that same way. And so it was, so I guess I'm saying I still have those old fears of disappointing people and not being enough. That those parts of me are still in me. But in this relationship, every time it comes up, it's a little bit weaker. It has a little bit less fuel. And that's a pretty amazing feeling. Like, we had a long talk yesterday about the negative comments that I got yesterday. So, I got 300,000 views, 6,000 comments or something like that. And of those 6,000 comments, almost all of them were awesome. And, a tiny percentage were shitty. But a tiny percentage of 6,000 is still enough to go, woo. And I was commenting to her about how, let me pause. I'll talk a little bit about digital Aikido in a second. Good morning, Elena. Elena says, I love your new you with your soulmate. Thank you. Me too. Me too. It's a. I hope this comes out in a non-blasphemous way. I don't think I'm in focus. What's going on here? All right. There are times when I feel so blessed and so happy in my life and in this partnership, and like the things that I believe to be the highest opportunities of human existence, meaning connection, creativity, opportunities, abilities to be of service, abilities to be to dedicate time and energy to removing obstacles to my truth and my heart. Like, but the big one is finding this partner that has an effect on me that is supernatural. And I'm in this state of just so much gratitude that I feel like a closeness to God. And if I use that word, I know we're all thinking about whatever different things. But if there is a all-knowing oneness, a supreme cosmic intelligence, or in Watt's explanation of imagine you're God and you get bored, so you start putting yourself into human lives to experience what it's like to not know you're God and to have adventures. I think if I was God, I would totally create this experience that John is having, because I would love to experience that. I told that to Lisa. She goes, well, like my friend Alexa says, it's an everything bagel. So enjoy this bite while you got it, which is also true. Good morning, Terry. Good morning, Global. Global says, I'm grateful for patience, to understand my history, and to see love in abundance. Elena says, I can't even imagine what that would be like, being together with someone that long. But if you're really connected through souls, then yes. And as this person has been writing me, it leaves a unfathomable vacuum. Global says, grateful I can ask for compliments. Grateful I can make myself laugh. Juan says, luck is half chance, the other half is magic. That's what my fortune cookie said. I agree. Nice. Good morning, Mike. I'm grateful for you too. Grateful that you have had so many opportunities and made the choices and took the actions to dedicate yourself to your practice. Hello, High Noon. Elena says, true, open, honest, transparent connection is divine, is divinity. Ooh, I like that. Global says, in dreams and in love, there are no impossibilities. It's an everything bagel. Yeah, Lisa's pretty good. I mean, Lisa does a lot of work, as a coach for individuals and couples. And she's really insightful. And what's interesting, like she rarely deals with like the circumstances. Like if you came to her and said, he doesn't put away the dishes, well, she doesn't. She was like, I don't really care. Let's figure out the place way higher than that, where the resentment is, or where your stuff is creating these expectations and stories and stuff that is becoming conflict. So she's wise. Jesus loves you, is grateful for salvation. I'm grateful for everyone that finds faith that inspires them to be agents of love in the world. So if Jesus is inspiring you today to look into the world at how you can reduce suffering, how you can limit those incarcerated, how you can clothe those who need it and feed those who need it, and preach the danger of wealth acquisition, then I am such a supporter of the impact of Jesus on your life. Good morning, Angel. Heining says, look at all these beautiful beings here. I'm grateful you all are here. What else was I going to say? Oh, about comments? Maybe another time, but maybe it's a longer thing, but they'll revisit with another time, a deeper dive. But, I've been putting myself out there for decades, and so I'm no stranger to the occasional hurtful email. And it really doesn't faze me. And a big part is because of my security. If someone attacks me for being gay, I wish, I'm not, but I wish I was a little closer to gay on the spectrum. I think I'm mildly bisexual, but it's just not true. I know it not to be true, so it means nothing. It's totally a projection from some fear or something in that person. And you see it all the time. If you, from a place of security, it's so easy to analyze a lot of people were instead of celebrating my love, they said, just be careful that you don't forget who you are. Don't lose yourself in this relationship. And I'm like, okay. I'm guessing that you are witnessing someone who is in an overwhelming love state. You are reminded of some time when you have felt overwhelmingly loved and you lost yourself. And so you're now trying to, out of kindness, protect me. But it's a declaration about you. It is not really advice for me. As is most insults. The only time an insult or an attack hurts is when there's enough of that belief that there's enough friction that it sticks. If someone attacks me for being, fat, it's like, I don't know. Now, I used to be, if people said that I was a fraud, that I had fears of being a fraud, and so those would hit. And there's some that attacked me. Well, they didn't attack me. They just, in mean ways, talked about how old I was or how old I looked. Something like, who cares what this 60-year-old dude thinks? I'm like, 60? Okay. Maybe it is time to trim this beard. Yeah. Elena says, well, if she is wise, then because you found each other, you must be wise as well. Isn't that true? I have my moments. I feel like we are peers. We are constantly advising one another and really listening to one another's perspectives on things, because I think we both value the experiences and work that each of us has done. So yeah. Scary Mac, good morning. Says, so happy for you, proud of you, and wish you all the best. Thank you. High Noon is grateful for all the bikers, runners, walkers I came across on a paved rail trail who said, you're awesome, I love you. That's rad. I imagine those on vacation talking about this dude with the positivity. Yeah! There are several people, regulars here, who have a practice of that kind of greeting. And I really encourage you to increase the amount of greetings that you give to people in the world. When you pass strangers, say good morning. You know, maybe even practice it with your voice so it's as non-confrontational as possible. Not morning, but good morning. Little hi. Go hi at the end. Good morning. Hello. It's the simplest thing you can do that really does adjust the direction of the energy that you put into the world. High Noon and Gerbot both love running. Dell says, I miss it. So happy for you. It doesn't happen often. Thanks, man. Elena saying, I have seen you years ago in a sort of hyperactive happiness, but now you feel this happiness on a much deeper level because in finding her, you found yourself. I think that's a deep question. I mean, I think I was discovering myself at a deeper level than I ever had. And it was in that self-awareness that made me available to be in partnership with a woman of that caliber, or a human of that caliber, you know, a human of that level of self-awareness and growth. You know, when I was young, as we all are, you know, we find people we're attracted to and we connect to and we have fun with. And we hope that we have patience for all the stuff that flares up when times are hard. And then over time, your flares get to be less. And as you learn to accept and love your own stuff, you have the capacity to love other stuff, not be repelled by it. And so in partnership, you're not saying, I found the perfect person who no longer triggers me. Or you're saying, no, we are both at a place where we have enough love and enough tools that we are going to partner in our collective growth, knowing that it's going to be hard sometimes, and that, but in the partnership, we can guide one another back to center, or we can lean on the respect and trust in the other, so that the flare-ups, the irrationality, the old parts of ourselves that take control can be removed or calmly and lovingly taken out of the driver's seat and put in the back seat much quicker. That's been my experience. And I really feel like, you know, it's a holy relationship, which is what I've always dreamed of. And I really feel like that's what this is. And I think that part of it is that we remind each other that. We remind each other that we are both committed to one another's growth and our growth collectively. And that commitment means that if we lose our shit, it's not a failure. That's a natural part of the growth process. You know, sometimes like in a therapy office, you might even be poked and instigated by the therapist to try to access the difficult things, the anger, the loss, the grief, because that person you have a secure relationship with them, and you can have things come up and have more ability to be in control, or to deal with them, or to work with them, or to heal them. And I think that's the ultimate goal of partnership, is to not be afraid of the human parts, and have faith that when there's two of you with anchors, if you lose your anchor, that other person has the patience and the capacity to hold you when you're drifting. So I wish that for everyone. And the understanding that that is not something that you wait for and hope that that person comes to save you. It doesn't work that way. High Noon says, this week has so much insights. Gerbot says, I'm grateful for the BRC Snow Club and their gift of bringing the slopes to the playa. Gotta love the ambition of burners. Mike sharing, when a man came to the Buddha with anger for his teachings, he asked, what would you do with a gift you didn't want? The man said, I'd give it back. Buddha responded, that's what I do with your anger. Yeah, I love that story. Chris says, good for you, wise sage. Such huge growth. And I do feel like a lifetime of growth, but the last 2.5 years have been full of insight and practice and service. You know, a lot of this relationship has been shifting the center of my universe from me to us. And there's a lot of good that can come from getting pulled out of that trap of being too me focused. Heinen says, grateful for the Alta snowboard team. Shredding snowbird in Alta as a snowboarder has been a big impact on me. Go Little Cottonwood Canyon, Utah. Woo! Thank you, Elena. Good morning, Mingle. I love you too. Oh, and thanks for the opportunity to chat and ponder. And I think it's an everything bagel. And if you don't even have to go back very many days. That if you were here a few days ago, I was tired and grumpy, and that's I've been thinking about this a lot too. That one of my mentors, Ishmael, said in a recent Zoom call that he was leading, he's like, leadership is not a place that you arrive at and then you're a leader. Leader is a role that you play, an identity that you embody. But that same person sometimes is falling apart. And I just think it's so important to recognize that all of us at times are connected to deep wisdom. And all of us at times are being led by unskilled, traumatized parts of ourselves. So today, feeling pretty wise and peaceful. Next week, I'm weaning off coffee, so expect a little grumpiness. Or maybe not. Angel has a long story. I had an amazing experience this week. I'm a customer service representative for an online store. Several years ago, a woman called in about an order that had a mistake, but it was the straw that broke the camel's back. She lost it. However, I was able to just listen, and before I knew it, she was telling me how she was struggling with her adult daughter who'd recently wanted to transition. A few years before, my teenage daughter had dipped her toes in the trans waters as well. After listening and acknowledging her struggle, I gently reminded her that regardless of anything, she was still the child she always loved and supported, and that we may not always like the choices our children make. Sorry, it's hard. Sorry, it's hard to get it all on the screen at once. I took another call like the many I take every day, and when I introduced myself, there was a longer than average pause. Soon the woman repeated my name and said, "I think I talked to you a few years ago." I was surprised to have been remembered, but as she went on, she said the nicest thing. She said that she wasn't sure how the conversation had started, but that she had shared her situation and struggle with her daughter, and that I had truly been her angel that day. I had talked her off a cliff. Her and her son are doing well and continuing to work on their relationship. I was so grateful to have picked up that particular call. Yay. This is what being a love ambassador is being ready when the opportunity to be kind and loving and patient and a good listener arises. Sometimes it's super simple, saying thank you sincerely to a cashier. Sometimes it's breaking out of the role that you play in your job to be a human being with a heart to somebody. So thank you, Bull. Elena's saying, the fluctuation of a human being is always through feeling all emotions. We are emotional beings. Mingle sharing, I have gratitude that I'm seeing some blue sky with work. Last week I saw a crack of blue sky, and this morning now I'm seeing a chunk of blue sky. It's not an entire blue sky, but it's getting there. Amazing what a difference a week can make. Happy to hear that. You deserve lots of blue skies and rainbows. Thank you, Elena. Chris says, active process of enabling others to succeed while providing direction for yourself and the entire team, knowing that every day is not perfect. Totally. Corey's thankful for a freshly purged apartment. Good morning, Chris. Del says, I got hugged from a grocer this morning. It was the most moving moment I've had in months. That's awesome. Elena says, I am simply grateful for the Shmuel karaoke app so I can sing with people all over the world. Well, that's pretty neat. Oh, well, what a treat to get to share the start of this Saturday with everyone. I'm grateful that I've got a couple plans today. I've got a barbecue to go to and dinner with my family to celebrate my nephew's birthday. Grateful for I've got a few projects in the works that I'm feeling good about. I'll share more as it goes. Grateful for this body. Grateful for this technology and using it in ways of connection. Grateful for you. So wherever you are, give yourself a hug. Feel yourself being held by me and all those here. Remembering little bits of one another's stories and experiences, knowing that the world is filled with like-minded, open-hearted people. It's not the kind of stuff that gets in the news. It's not the kind of stuff that the algorithm puts in front of you, but there's so much love and creativity and magic out there. So let's make sure we do our best to be a part of that as we take a deep breath in and squeeze. On behalf of Grandpa Caleb and all of us here, thanks for being here for our Saturday Love Morning. I'll see you soon. I will say hi to Jim.